Oh, hi. So I am out hiking. It's about 3,000 feet. Uh, we are in what used to be many years ago, over 10 years ago, was a burn, and now it has grown back really profusely. And it just feels so good to be out in nature. So yeah, let's see, what can I do? I can move this around so you can see. So this beautiful plant over here, this is Yerba Santa, Eriodictyon crassifolium, the hoary-leafed Yerba Santa. It's very fuzzy leafed. I can actually show you nice up close right here. You can see how fuzzy this leaf is. Oh man. Oh, and it's got this really lovely resinous scent. It's a wonderful, wonderful plant medicine. Yerba Santa is a fantastic anti-inflammatory and astringent to mucosal membranes. So really great for like sinuses and lungs, but almost too effective sometimes. It can be very drying, and because we're here in Southern California and we're heading into summertime where it tends to be really dry, so then that you want to be careful about overly drying out mucosal membranes. Oh, but ultimately, it's really just about being in this environment. So right now we're in a sage scrub ecosystem, and that's really dominated by, we've got sages and yerba santas and wild buckwheats. But then if you look over here, across the way, this is all chaparral, and this is this former burn. You can see there's my husband in red down there. So this is all this gorgeous chaparral. You can see the burned trees down at the base. Those are oak trees that when I first started coming here and exploring, they all looked completely dead. There was no leaves on them whatsoever, and their trunks were all just totally blackened. But that's one of the points of creating relationships with your environments, is you keep coming and you keep coming. You come to these places in different seasons so you can see the plants and how they shift and how they change. And this is actually an environment that we go in the beginning of the Sage Country Herbs Botanical Field Apprenticeship, because that's when everything is dormant in like February. Everything is still just waking up for spring. So it's really beautiful then to come back here, usually in May. Because of the pandemic this year, we'll be coming in June, just to be able to see how do these plants change? How does the ecosystem change? I can tell you right now, there are so many annuals in flower that were not here, 4 months ago. So it's a real pleasure to be able to take people to these same places and be able to see how the ecosystem changes and how to create a relationship with that ecosystem and with those plants. And, I've been coming here for upwards of 10 years, and the more I come, the more I explore, and the more I find plants. Every year I find a plant that I've never seen before. It's so cool, so cool. So this is actually this gorgeous Yerba Santa stand that we're in. It's really beautiful. This here is, this is the buckwheat. This is Eriogonum fasciculatum. You can see it's fascicles mean bundles. So the species fasciculatum has to do with the leaves being in little fascicles or bundles. It's really nice when a plant is actually named after some of the key characteristics of the plant itself, because it really helps when you're trying to identify things. And the more you get to know an ecosystem, get to know plants, the more you can recognize it in any season. And that to me is one of the most important things, is to have a relationship and to really enjoy cultivating that relationship. It's just like making a new friend, like at first you get to know their name. And then over time of spending time, you get to know a little bit more about them. And ultimately, the more you get to know about them and the more things you perhaps share in common, or the more you share commonalities of just loving to be in this environment, the more you develop that relationship. So this also happens to be a killer cloud day. I mean, look at that. Oh, beautiful.